If anybody noticed, but we're wearing the same colors.
What does that tell you?
What does that tell you? Actually, I want to thank Congresswoman Gabbard for her service to our country, and as someone who supports veterans, I am very proud of the work that we have done in the Sheriff's Office for the implementation of the Veterans Treatment Docket, which is extremely important. I also want to share with you that we offer veteran preference, so that means that individuals who have served our country and have fought for our freedom are given an additional 5% in addition to the salaries that they start at, which I think is huge. And again, I love veterans. I've had a lot of support and in fact a fundraiser from one of the veterans that I've had the opportunity to work with, so thank you again for your service.
Go Navy.
Okay. It is an honor, certainly for me, to serve as your sheriff, and as mentioned, I've dedicated over 28 years of my life to serve the sheriff's office as well as to the people in the community. And I've accomplished quite a bit in this short period of time that I've been sheriff. I have to remind myself it really hasn't even been 2 years that I've been in this position, although it feels like a lifetime. Again, the accomplishments that we've made internally within the sheriff's office that I know I've got sheriff's office staff here this evening is huge. From a merit-based promotion system process, which is extremely important, where you no longer have to be friends with a certain person to get promoted. You're able to be promoted based on your qualifications, and also everybody happens to know what the criteria is expected of them when they go for a promotion process. In terms of diversity, I am very proud. We are one of the most diverse public safety agencies in Fairfax County. And we do everything from going to job fairs to many people see me in the community, which is obviously evident by all the different cultures that are here this evening, which I'm so proud of. But for the first time in our agency's 271-year history, I promoted the second African-American woman to the rank of captain. Hey. She was only African American, but because she was qualified, she deserved it, and there was no obstacles in the place as there had been in the past. My top priorities continue. One of them obviously is mental health reform. Almost half of my inmate population right now is running at 1,130 inmates, suffer from some form of mental illness and or co-occurring substance use disorder. I am putting in policies and procedures in place to ensure that we are able to focus on diverting these non-violent offenders into treatment as opposed to bringing them to jail. And as many people have heard before, you wouldn't take your car to the dentist to get fixed. Why would you bring someone who suffers from mental illness to a jail for treatment? Because that's not where it's going to happen. The best that we are able to do is to try to get these folks stabilized. And with the cut in resources, and we're trying to be very creative in terms of what we have been able to implement. For example, I've implemented 24/7 telepsychiatry because I don't have the luxury of having a psychiatrist on board every single day. So that's already been implemented. As soon as I got elected, because I have been advocating for the mentally ill prior to becoming a sheriff, and let me tell you why. As a young deputy, I remember walking down the hallways of the adult detention center, especially in the female receiving area, and I know that Gwen Bell, she can attest to this, walking down the hallways, hearing the women screaming, feeling like this was St. Elizabeth's. I've walked the walk and now I'm talking the talk, and I'm telling you right now, we are doing better. I changed the release time immediately after I was elected to make sure that we were releasing individuals at 8 o'clock in the morning as opposed to midnight, when there was no transportation, no housing, no mental health services available. Why would you release someone in the middle of the night? Okay? So we now release them at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been fortunate enough with my partnership with nonprofits, with county agencies, and with volunteers that they have an opportunity to get the assistance that they need. I also relocated the women who were suffering from mental illness to a housing area that was more therapeutic, where the lights were able to go off and on. They weren't on all night long, and they were also closer to our mental health staff. I was very fortunate that I went to Bexar County in San Antonio. Bexar County's got the model system of how they treat folks that are mentally ill. Went down there, brought back some best practices, and I helped spearhead Diversion First, which is a countywide initiative that's focused on diverting nonviolent offenders into treatment and getting them the help that they need, and I'm very proud of that. And Supervisor Kathy Hudgens, who is one of my favorite supervisors because she is... I say that, and I'm very serious about it, because I'm from the Hunter Mill District, and of course Kathy Hudgens is from the Hunter Mill District, and I have a great admiration and love for her. And she cares, and that's what you know that she cares. And again, this is about human capital we're talking about, regardless of anyone's, race, color, socioeconomic status. We treat people with dignity and respect, and Kathy Hudgens gets that, and she's been very supportive of the initiatives that we are implementing. Expanded and enhanced crisis diversion training, which is tailored to the Sheriff's Office, as well as mandatory training for every one of my staff members. I have 611 staff members that consist of civilian and sworn employees, and I've got over 300 volunteers, which makes us able to do the great work that we do, especially with inmate reentry. We had the second inmate resource fair today in the history of the Fairfax Sheriff's Office, with over 30 nonprofit and government agencies that are able to provide information on insurance, information on housing, transportation, skill source, employability, probation and parole, DMV. I've got a large population that doesn't even have ID, a government-issued ID. So let me tell you what I did. Made contact with DMV Connect, and guess what? They're now in my jail providing identification, government-issued cards. I'm paying for it out of my pocket. You all are not paying for it. The individuals who need an ID, so they're able to, when they go back into the community, people know who they are. People are able to employ them. This is what it's about. So with mental health reform, and again, it's not going to happen overnight. Everyone is familiar with the tragedy that happened in Fairfax, and I'm here to tell you that that is not going to define who we are. All the training in the world is not going to prevent incidents from happening until we have a place to divert folks that are suffering from mental illness. So with our mental health reform, with our inmate reentry, and with engaging in diverse communities. Why is that important? It's important that we reflect the communities that we serve, not only internally within the Sheriff's Office, but also within the community. So again, I am committed to, I need more time, is what I
need. 4 more years.
4 more years. 4 more years.
4 more years. At least 4 more years.
6, 8. Hey.
4. You know what? People that know me know that I just want to be the sheriff. I mean, this whole thing about being a politician is okay sometimes, really, not so much, but I just want to be the sheriff. I work with everyone. I don't care what you look like, what you have after your name. I'm committed to running the most professional sheriff's office, one that's fiscally responsible. We save taxpayers dollars with our community labor force program, where I've got low-risk offenders going out into the community. We saved the county over $1.4 million last year, and we've exceeded that this year. You want a sheriff that's able to do what we want done, both with your dollars, and also the most innovative sheriff's office. So that's what you get when you put me back into office, as well as a lot of other things. And I ask for your vote on November 4th, whether you do it in person or whether you do it absentee. I'll take it any way I can get it. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here this evening. I know that I recognize Kathy Hudgens, my favorite supervisor. She gets it, and she gets to hear from me more frequently than the other supervisors. I also want to thank Alan and his wife, Kusan, for putting on this.
I'd like to thank you for the police games that you brought.
Oh,
You
yeah.
stood up there at RFK. It was phenomenal.
Thank you. Let me tell you about James Montfort real quick. James is a Loudoun County resident, and I do not hold that against him, but but he reached out to me over Facebook, asking me a question. I asked him to send me his phone number so I could call him. And he was thinking, why would the sheriff want to call me? This is the crazy stuff that the sheriff does. Not only does she call people that are not her constituents, but she helps everybody that reaches out to her to a fault. Mm-hmm. Jim and I have become good friends, and he's been very supportive of my candidacy, regardless if I'm a Democrat. But he's been very, very supportive, and I thank him and his wife for doing so. And I also want to thank, because I couldn't do this, and I know that Congresswoman Gabbard understands this, you can't do this without your spouse and your family. Mm-hmm. And this Sunday, it'll be our 13th wedding anniversary. All right. We've been together for 20 years. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 13th wedding anniversary, and then my father, who I'm so proud of, and he has been on the campaign trail through the thick and the thin. Even when, God love him, he's been in the hospital. I can tell you that Fair Oaks Hospital, they're all voting for me there. Again, thank you everyone for coming to support me. I am blown away because, I mean, I know that the next fundraiser I have, I need to invite Congresswoman Gabbard because she rates, and look at all this here for a holiday weekend. And again, I am just, thank you all so much for coming out this evening.